Hey everybody, welcome to Speed Bump with authorblues and me, Smight.
Hey-o. I'm authorblues.
I want to make sure nobody's confused about what we're doing here, so we are going to be, every week, doing something related to some video game. And what video game that is will change every month at the start. Let's roll to this scene. Starting soon is incorrect, we have started. Come on over here. Okay, so every month we are going to pick a game. It's going to be a game with either no world record or a world record that looks like minutes, whole minutes. At least whole minutes can be saved, if not hours. Like unoptimized is the word.
Yeah, that's not to necessarily disparage the people who run them. I mean, I've got a lot of world records that are easy picking for the takings, but the idea is to give shine some light on some of these games that don't really have a optimized scene yet.
Yeah. If they're the only one running it, they have no reason to optimize it, so we're going to give them one, and they'll probably be happy about it. It's the way people usually feel when they get challenged. They want to, do better. And I will give them $100 too. They'll have a head start if they join in. I decided that if the runner wants to join in on a game that I picked that they have a record in already, they need to beat their old record still. They can't just sit there and win money. They have to compete. Anyway, shall we go ahead and reveal our game?
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're ready. Well, here it is, folks. This month's game. It's Keith Courage in the Alpha Zones. What do you think about this one, authorblues?
So my only experience with it is having played like 5 minutes of it today, and I'm very excited.
Oh yeah? There's the lore. Do you want to read the lore? You see the lore?
Me? There's no way I can keep up with this. No chance.
Something about beastly alien dudes and nice. The nations.
Are you a bad enough dude to kill the aliens? Your goal is to reach the Robo Zone, which is a pretty good zone. It's definitely better than Bad Zone.
So we started this month technically a week late because we had not decided to do a show until a weekend, really. So you only have 2 weeks to beat the record in this, which does exist. There is one.
Yeah, I assure you this is a real video game, which, if you look at the box art, you could easily be convinced that this is... the whole thing's just a hoax.
Yeah, here's that box art again, and here is your world record to beat, 36:40 by Cypher, and as far as I can tell, is the fastest time. There might be a faster one around, but I haven't seen it. I did a little investigating.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid run. I think you said it wasn't actually deathless, right?
This one was, I think, he was grinding though. Like, there's a lot of room to improve on it, I could tell. One of the things about this game is that you can kill enemies, get money, power up your sword, and as far as I can tell, you do not need to do that. You can win with the basic stuff still. It sucks real bad, but you can win with 3 hearts and the starter sword. You can do that. So what is the optimal route? I don't know. There's probably somewhere in the middle there. Probably like sword 3 out of 6 is probably with 3 hearts the best way to win, but I'm not sure. That sounds like hell, but I think the record can be beaten, so I put it on there. And even the runner said in his comments that he thinks he could do it too. Like, he wants to do better at it.
These sorts of games are really fun to optimize too. Like, you can take a very risky strategy, risky route, and end up saving a lot of time, but your completion rate's gonna plummet. So you start off with consistency, you start off with the grind, and then you slowly pull back. I find those speedruns to be really, really rewarding.
The punishing thing in this one is if you take a death, you lose half of your money, and for some reason, half of your orbs. You have Castlevania hearts, you lose half of those too for using a continue. So I ended up, that's why I didn't have full power when I beat the game over the period of way too long trying to beat it myself. Every time I took a death, I just had 0 money. So I just didn't get the last upgrade, and turns out that the final boss, well, I hate to spoil it, but there's some tricks to it. Speedrun is definitely worth watching. for some information. Do you want to play this authorblues? Is that what you're all about?
Yeah, so I specifically haven't really played this aside from a few minutes. And I expect that this is probably going to be a little bit of a nightmare, completely blind, so...
I'm going to turn on the audio from you. There it is, beautiful. Okay, well, I know what's going on in this video game, so...
You're going to have to tell me what's going on in this video game.
To start, there's 14 levels, but they're actually 7 levels divided in 2. There's an overworld, which you're in now, and an underworld. The overworld has the nurse who can heal you for way too much money. The old man
That's not a good price.
He gives you advice for no reason and gives you orbs to throw your weapons with. And the blacksmith sells you your sword upgrades. This is the only place where you can get money in the game, too. You get money here. You get hearts in the underworld. There he is.
So he can sell if I've got money enough for it?
Yes.
This is Rock Zone. So named because of the rocks.
So those spikes are instant death. They are the worst thing in the game. The bosses are a close second to those spikes. They're everywhere. You're gonna know where they are when you're speedrunning this. You're just gonna learn that, but the first time through it's gonna feel really bad because you're gonna blind jump into a lot of those.
Do I want bolt bombs?
That's what the orbs are called. Do you want some? Probably not. Not really. They're okay.
Do you think you're strong enough, dude, to kill the president?
The bolt bombs are alright. I'm getting feedback audio from your game also.
Yeah, you're getting it because I have the viewer open.
Oh, I see.
But I muted it.
You've made it to Underworld. Congratulations. Now you're a Gundam. The game feels a lot better now.
Wait, am I like really a Gundam? Because I look unironically exactly like a Gundam.
You are actually this thing. So now instead of getting money, big enemies, ones that take like 4 hits, they drop hearts. For some reason, 1 out of every random heart, like that big guy who's a big gun for no reason, he might drop a heart, and it's not just a heal. There's a chance that it will boost your max HP permanently. Up to 8. You can keep getting it forever, up to 8. There's a chance.
So grinding for the max health up might be worth it.
I feel like you're gonna end up with that, as long as you're killing enemies on the way. It helps a lot to have more than 3 times HP. It definitely helps, because the bosses are mean. These enemies are hitting you so pathetically that they're not even hurting you, almost.
Yeah, I was about to say, my health doesn't seem to be going down.
The big enemy, on the other hand, will hurt you real bad. So it's kind of like Link to the Past, where they're hitting you for like a quarter hearts. These things will hit you for a full hearts, and the bosses will too. Those are Yoku blocks, by the way.
I assume those spikes are also instant death.
Yeah, they are. The Gundam is not safe. Actually, most of the game is dealing with the Gundam levels. The Keith levels aren't so bad. Did you find a 2?
At some point, yeah.
I should talk about that. So there's 5 numbers you can find. They change your sub-weapon. The first number, it shoots forward an orb for the price of 1 orb. The second number shoots forward an orb for the price of 2 orbs, and it's the same damn thing. So it's just worse. So I think it fires faster. The third orb fires 2 orbs for the price of 3 orbs. Okay? The fourth orb fires 6 orbs for the price of 4, and the 5th one is ludicrously good. So definitely you want that, if you can find it. Are you farming
So what's the odds of getting an actual health upgrade?
Obnoxious. They don't come when you need them, and they come when you don't care, usually.
Yeah, I got 3.
You can find downgrades for your sub-weapon in this, so watch out for that. Here's some bosses. They will kill you quickly if you let them chunk you. These enemies, this is one of these games where these enemies are just going to become regular stuff, so they're not too bad because of that. They're not too different from the gun guy up there. You're gonna get real good at beating this guy up. Nice work.
Easy.
There
Wow.
are 7 levels and you're already 1/7 done, no problem.
It might turn out to be the case that this game's actually quite easy. Wow.
Yeah, until right about now, really. I mean, so the sword upgrade, I can't even tell if it raises your damage. It's hard to say. I tried to read a game FAQ and it said it did. Another one said it didn't. It definitely gives you a long range sword, like just longer. Every upgrade is just a bigger sword. I cannot tell if it increases your damage. It's so hard to tell. It doesn't seem like it does to me, but the bosses take so many hits that maybe it does. It didn't feel like I was killing enemies faster. The nurse will heal you to full for that ridiculous price, even if you have 8 hearts. But with 3, it's kind of a waste. You could just take a death to get healed if you don't care about losing half your money.
Right.
It might be worth buying orbs if you have the 3 or above. Those are actually... You get a decent amount. You get like... For a couple hundred, you get like 20 or 30. Sometimes you get 80. It's just quite a bit of... Oh no!
Oh, that was short-lived.
You got that
But it's
full
okay. I can go to continue, and I only lose half my coins.
Yeah. And none of your orbs. It's beautiful. How's the Gundam feel?
It's a lot faster, which feels nice, but I'm not sure that it necessarily feels better to use. It's still, the attack still feels pretty slow, so I would imagine that if there's a way to get orbs without having to stop at the shops, that it could be faster to use your sub-weapon.
I don't think you can. I don't think that drops. I think you have to buy them.
Well, then maybe it only makes sense part way, perhaps, to, like, once you've got some money, spend it all, a bunch of them at once, because going to the shop would be pretty slow.
Yep. Also, it's kind of confusing. You're going to have to figure out which one he's in, because it doesn't say outside of the buildings.
Right.
There's a lot of buildings. Sometimes the old man is there 3 times, and only one of those is an orb shop. So not only is there a lot of buildings, there's a lot of old mans.
I have no idea where I'm going.
You're
Like,
going
whether
the
this
right
is... Okay.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty linear so far, but then this one seemed a little less linear. Oh my god, these rocks
The
suck.
orbs. So the jumping in this game, if you turn around midair, you just fall straight down, which is...
Yeah.
If you know about
I'm
it...
realizing that. The momentum in midair is very unintuitive. It's not... There's nothing hard about it. It's just not really what you would expect the momentum... The way you would expect it to work.
So heads up, folks, next week, because we only are doing this one for 2 weeks, we're going to host a race in the Discord, and we'll just pick 4 volunteers who want to do that. So get some practice in if you want us to make fun of you while you play this game. I think maybe you're going the wrong way now. It's hard to say. I can't remember for sure. Now you found him. This is definitely the good scene. Can you beat this Frankenstein thing?
Oh my god, this guy is pretty strong.
Dying here sucks because you'll be doing that whole stage again. Nice work.
I feel very lucky.
Well, feel blessed that you don't get healed after your level is done.
Oh no. Wouldn't mind a heal right now.
The cats with the money tend to drop money more than anything else. I think the red ones drop 200. They're the only enemy who does. Everything else is 50 coins. So if you see a special cat...
Oh my god, these actually drop a pretty decent amount of money. Like, if there's a reason to have gold...
Oh yeah, there's... I mean, the sword... The range alone makes it worth it. I'm not sure if the damage goes up, but it's substantial. It turns into a spear, almost. For the record, the most expensive sword in the game is like 4,800, and if you don't buy it then, it goes up to 9,600.
Oh my god.
Which is... The money doesn't really come in faster than this. This is like peak money speed right here, so... Yeah, I don't know that you're getting that last one, so definitely if you want the final spear, buy it in level 7 or whatever, because in level 8, buy it in level 6 because in level 7 it's 9,600. It's crazy.
Damn, this is...
I think you're good to buy the weapon here.
Yeah, a decent gold farm right here.
Oh. As far as I can tell, what they mean by strong enough to cross means you're not going to die walking across. And now you're going to die walking across because you're injured, so... You're going to lose half your money. I think.
So I should probably go get healed at the nurse.
If she's there.
She is not.
It's very, very hot. Be prepared to sweat in the volcano. Well, hopefully you can make it across without dying. I don't know of a different way to go across. You just kind of go.
Man, there's just no way to heal, huh? Okay.
As far as I can tell. It's not too much. I think it's very low damage for what it... I mean, you're walking on lava, and it doesn't seem like it hurts at all.
Found the nurse. I will accept... Oh, 400 gold.
Yeah, that's her max price, and she stays there for the rest of the
Okay,
game.
I was about to say, it's getting more expensive.
The swords go up, but not the nurse. And I don't think the orbs go up either. They're always cheap. So at this point in the game, it's probably worth buying them. They're just not that much anymore.
He's the wise wizard.
Bolt bombs.
200 gold apiece now.
You'll get a bunch.
Oh, you get a lot of them. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was thinking it was a lot more expensive.
because you have level 3, you only have 12 there, or whatever, 12 or 13. But it's still a decent amount. And those are thrown with up and B, Castlevania stuff.
It doesn't seem to be doing enough damage to make my hearts go down. The hearts must be representative of internally, like a lot of hit points.
Yeah, I think so. You do not lose your sword upgrades when you die. You only lose money.
So you could sort of bank money by going ahead and spending it, I guess.
Yeah, get rid of your money. If you're not confident that you'll deathless this thing, losing your money means you're probably not going to get a sword upgrade because it's a lot of loss at this point.
Now this is a TurboGrafx 16 game, which typically for the speedrunning community, the rule is you can use any feature that the stock controller has. So TurboGrafx 16 games, you're usually allowed to use Turbo. Is there anything in this game that Turbo can really do for you?
I don't think so. Maybe the orbs. Also, I'm pretty sure you missed 1, maybe 2 sword upgrades at this point in your life. You can go back though if you want. By the way, that's the thing. Not only can you go back that stage, you can go back all the way to stage 1, and you will never do the underworld again. It's gone. So you can just go back and buy a sword if you missed it, if that's what you want to do.
That's pretty cool.
I don't think that's a good idea, unless it's that $9,600 sword that I was talking about. That's half price, and that would be worth it. You still haven't gotten those to give you an HP upgrade for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know exactly how that works.
A lot of bad luck, Smight. I think it's just I'm a very unlucky person.
It seems like it. I feel like it is a roll of the dice. Like 1 in 4 for me was giving me a max HP upgrade. At this point, I had 5 hearts and a sword upgrade of some kind. Really? Oh, you downgraded your orbs. Dang. Aren't you glad that's there? The curse. I mean, it's more efficient, I guess.
There we go. I got a hard upgrade that time.
Hey.
There's 2 of these guys right here. If you were really wanting to grind hearts, this would not be a bad spot, right?
I think it's any enemy who's big. Any enemy who takes more than a couple hits seems like they could drop hearts, is how it works, so yeah. I don't think you can get them off those little dudes. I studied the game FAQ and learned nothing. This is all my own experience with this. Maybe the speedrunner has some tips.
Oh man,
Knockback's
you
the thing.
pushed me right on there.
Yeah, knockback, and those spikes are the scariest. If those spikes are around, you gotta use extreme caution.
Yeah, they don't mess around.
I wonder if
keep my health upgrade.
I don't know what happens if you skip a sword upgrade and just go straight to the next one. Maybe it just lets you just have level 3. Yeah, the spikes are bad. Bad news. your health doesn't mean anything to them, and your health doesn't mean a whole lot to the boss. That's why you want health upgrades, because the bosses are really mean in this. They have patterns, so I know you can beat them without taking a single hit. It's slower than taking hits, though. A lot slower. There's no continue limit. You can go all day. You will eventually win. 5 hearts!
And a 4.
That's actually worth using. Check that out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the 5 is even better than that, but the 4 is... It uses 4, but I mean, it's worth it. It probably decimates the boss.
I'd be interested in seeing if there's some way to kind of cook the RNG a little bit and guarantee certain things. Like if you kill certain enemies in a certain order, if you can guarantee getting the power-up drops you needed.
I was just thinking about how that guy's head is a big gun. And he kicks ass. He's just in here all game long. He just keeps showing up. And he just walks around and shoots at you with his head. Dude who drops torpedoes on your head is no fun.
No, I think he's very powerful in a way that he shouldn't be.
Well, you made it to boss 3. The Magician Man.
It's the Joker. Okay, I'm taking a lot of damage because I'm playing it way too fast and loose.
Yep.
Hey, I'm dead.
It's dangerous.
You weren't kidding.
They will...
I was thinking maybe I just had a real gift for this game when I took out the previous boss, but nope, this one proved to me I'm still mortal and I do bleed.
They will take you down if you let them get away with chipping you, because you get so used to these enemies bouncing off of your health that you don't think you can be killed anymore by the time you get to the boss. And then you're redoing the whole stage.
Yeah, I can for sure see that. It's not... It doesn't feel unfair. Like, it feels like I could definitely learn the patterns on these bosses. But if you just go into it really aggressive, you need to come with a lot of health.
These big dudes can hurt you. I mean, they'll take a heart or two away over the period of the level, but they'll drop hearts. You'll be filled. Like, they took one off of you eventually there. But they gave you it back, so it's whatever. But then the boss, every time he hits you, he takes one. Usually. So... Suddenly you're dying in 5 hits instead of 50. You feeling that HP?
Am I feeling what?
Feeling that HP up.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 hearts. I'm suddenly feeling real proud of myself.
You are not even halfway through the game and you're already maxing it out. Oh man!
That's okay. I didn't need any of that money.
Yeah. That's the part that's annoying. That grind, thrown away. Dying is enough.
7 hearts, though.
7 hearts. I don't think Magician's gonna get you again. That's my honest opinion. I think he's screwed.
This game's pretty cool.
It's fun. I mean, the only thing that sucks about it is what will be overcome with skill, dying and losing all your money. When you stop dying, suddenly that's not an issue anymore, and you'll just be left with Keith Courage, having a good time, being a cunt with a big sword.
I for sure think, especially with how little the enemies themselves do, I don't think grinding for health is going to be necessary, because the actual enemies in the stage aren't going to do a considerable amount of damage. You might get to the boss a little low if you don't stop and you just try to power through it, but I don't think you'll be super low. And then on top of that, I think if you can figure out good boss pattern, I don't think grinding for health is really a piece of this.
You absolutely can, because all the bosses you've fought so far, even the Magician Man, are just regular enemies, and I know how to kill them already after one run without any damage. You can do it. And then even the final boss, who took me quite a few tries, I did work out a pattern, because I didn't have a sword upgrade, and I felt like I was not doing damage at all, even though it looked like it was. Turns out I wasn't. I was just hitting him for 20 minutes for that reason, so that was fun.
It sounds like that's sort of a good way to practice a game like this, is to, Why did I pick that up? I didn't want that.
You've been downgraded. You can't use it anyway. I feel like the orbs are something I didn't get to use very much, and I feel like that is a big loss. They seem like they're good. If they do as much damage as your sword, they're so much easier to use.
Yeah, especially like the number 4 that just shoots a star around you. That's really powerful.
I think the 5 shoots a wave in front of you, and the 3 shoots forward and vertical, so you could hit twice for the price of 1 swing.
Right.
That would be the way to burn a boss down, I think. I mean, you get so many of them for a pittance. Max health, nice work.
Yeah, I got 8 hearts, so I don't.
That's all it is.
I don't think we're gonna have an issue.
Just with spikes. Spikes and there's still a boss or two who will get you.
I gotta stop turning around in midair. I think
Yeah.
learning that to not try to turn around in midair.
You know what the fun part is? Starting with 3 HP when you have 8 hearts.
What was that?
3 HP to start every time, no matter what. Hey, full health. Nice.
Well, just don't die, and that won't be an issue, right?
Yeah. Again, just playing well. Soft. Run back in Dark Souls too bad? Well, just don't die. Yeah.
All the enemies, I mean, if they don't die instantly to your sword, they take some sort of hit stun, so you could definitely use that to, just like power through an enemy. You know, hit them and keep moving,
Yep.
and they'll probably despawn.
Even the final boss suffers that.
I keep thinking I'm gonna power through that guy, but he might be one I want to kill. Or if I had orbs, I would probably use orbs.
You can jump on the pillars.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do originally, but he kept knocking me off of those too.
I feel like everyone gets walled in this game in stage 2 or 3, and then once they get used to it, there's
Yeah,
not
this
too
game
much.
definitely feels like the kind of game you could just get used to. Like it probably gets a lot easier with just a little. The smallest amount of practice is probably enough to make this really fast.
There's some cheap shots in it, blind jump stuff, but those are you learn where they are and you just don't fall for them anymore.
Yeah, for a speedrun, that's not a problem.
It took me I was using rewind a little bit to minimize because I wanted to see what the bosses were like. It took me an hour with that to just kind of barrel through. I didn't rewind anything except for spike deaths, which is obviously eating up a lot of time. I feel like my time would have been 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah, I think damage boosting is like really possible in this game too. Like doing good damage boosting. Because you get knocked back, but you also get pretty generous iframes. Oh my god, this game is wild. There's just like so much going on, and they make you feel really powerful by making so little of it actually do any real damage.
You're heartless. You can duck under his shot, but you can't duck under everybody. And you also have a crouching attack, which is pretty neat. Pretty good. There are Mega Man 1 spikes. They'll get you. Man, just 1 heart. Hey, that's pretty nice.
What?
You're back where you started on hearts. And the Spearman's dead. He is the most annoying of all the enemies, I think.
Well, I'm not worried about it because I have 3 hearts and that's more than enough to kill this boss because I've already downloaded his pattern.
Yeah. Throws a card, stands around.
It's like I was born to fight this guy. Oh, no.
This
You got
music
me that
sounds
time.
like a bonus round song. One more hit and you're done. I don't know about him though. You don't have a sword upgrade and I think it does matter. Hey, nice. 6 coins ready to roll.
Yeah, I think that's going to be more than enough to get a sword upgrade.
I think it's 1200 now, but I might be wrong. Hey, you just took your money times 20. Ridiculous. I just don't know how much the sword matters. Like, somebody probably at some point here will jump on the Discord and measure the difference in damage on boss 2 with the sword upgrade, right? Like, somebody's gonna get that data and we'll know.
Yeah, I mean, with Bizhawk, you could just change your sword value and then see if you do, you know, more damage. Might be able to even extract, you know, some internal information, get the HP for the bosses.
One of the game
Grinding's
FAQs
pretty
says,
easy. I mean, if it does turn out to be important, grinding's not too hard.
yeah, it's pretty simple, especially here. This is the big money spot. These cats, they go away for too long. They do not exist all game, unfortunately. One of the game FAQs was claiming that Sword 1 does 1 damage, Sword 2 does 2, etc. Just adds 1 each time, which means the final sword does 6 times damage. And that, if that's true, that means that you don't really need more than 3 or 4. Except for the range. The range is handy, but you don't need that either. You can win without it. But if you could 5 extra damage, you don't need to 6 extra damage. 5 is good.
So is it just a shop I need to enter that'll have the weapon guy in it?
Yeah, just one of these doors is him. Each time, you just missed that one by chance each time. Him and the nurse are just in some building. I don't think it's written on the doors. It's just, you just go in them. So you have to learn where he's at. You can submit games if you want, but I'll tell you, it seems like it's unlikely that you'll find one that where just because of what I've seen out of submissions so far from people, and also we have a bunch ourselves already. We're good till February, I think, already, probably, unless we decide not to use one of the ones we have queued up. So you'll be waiting a while, but if you do find a good one, I'll take a look. There's a form in the Discord.
I hit up on the door. I finally died. So that actually proves that there is sort of an internal...
Yeah, you can die here to that, for sure.
There's sort of an internal health amount. I was speculating that they may just not be doing enough damage to register, but...
It's like 5% of a heart every time. Instead of quarter hearts, you're losing 20th hearts. You're being stung by bees. That was 20 bees. I mean, we might do abandonware. If it's not a pain in the ass to run, I guess that's an issue of sorts. If it's running on DOS, it might be.
Death by 1,000 paper cuts. I think those bolt bombs are probably going to be a big piece of getting this speedrun really optimized. What?
I knew you'd fall for that trap.
I can't believe I got rused by a platform.
It's desynchronized.
Why would I not just stop and watch it for a second? It would have been so easy.
Desync. How do people like the layout? The concept? The ideas? The time frame? The prize pool? How are all those basic elements of this idea to you folks?
Are you looking to get paid for playing video games?
The screen is actually measured to be NES resolution doubled right now, so that's 512 by 448.
Which I don't think is exactly the same number of scan lines as TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah, I don't think it is. It's just the res I usually use. This show isn't really for us to be playing it so much as to be observing it, and this is lots experimental, showing us how it works run rather than.
Mostly, I'm just trying to demonstrate to you what the game looks like if you're not good at it and you've never seen it before.
Next week we'll have 4 screens on at once, around this size, a little smaller. The bottom bar is so large because I just had extra space. I don't know what to do with it.
Sell me a sword! I want to see this sword. Okay, found it.
Laser sword. Hey, that's not expensive at all. You've been sitting on money. You've been grinding way more than you need to. That's enough money for the next sword, actually, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
2,400. He doesn't upgrade his sword.
That's the most pathetic sound I've ever heard.
It's a Gundam sword you bought.
Oh, it is not for the boy.
No. It's a big sword for the big boy. You submit your run to speedrun.com, and
I don't want to talk about that.
well, you can see the range upgrade you got. It's significant, at least.
Yeah, it's massive.
Like, it's just like twice as long. I mean, you did skip 1 or 2 upgrades for sure, but that's pretty big.
It was mostly just to show off how prominent the sword upgrades are. I mean, if you saw every single upgrade.
Yep, I think I got the one after this and I missed all the rest. So you can definitely win with this.
I mean, those guys take the same number of hits to kill and they don't seem like they've gone up so far.
Yeah, I mean, but were they upgraded though? Like, if you came in here with a regular sword, like, he's a different color. Is he stronger?
Yeah, but the last world had a upgraded, different color version of the gun guy.
All game long for me, they took 4 or 5 hits, no matter what.
I will leave here with no money, and that's okay. I feel like I'm getting hearts a lot less often, though, which is going to be an issue if that continues.
I think it's just luck. I don't think it has anything to do with anything beyond they just don't feel like giving it to you.
Okay.
Here's this guy, remember him? He's real annoying.
I do.
He's no spearman, though. You've already worked him out. He's real cool because you can just walk and he'll jump over you to shoot behind you and he'll be gone. Oh no!
I'm gonna keep getting tricked by blind falls onto spikes.
Nearly every time that you see a Yoku block, you're supposed to jump off of it.
Every time I see a what block?
One of those gray blocks
Gotcha.
that disappear. Every time you're walking along the top of the screen like that and it's in a pit, they want you to jump off of it to get across. They lead the way. They're almost always the way forward, it seemed like. Except for that one on the left there, which goes nowhere. But most of them. So the speedrun.com channel for this one already exists. I'm gonna make a post after the show here on my website down there in the bottom left. And you can submit to that channel. Just go to speedrun.com and send in your VOD. I don't know exactly how that works. I haven't done it much.
Yeah, so if you want to submit a leaderboard to speedrun.com, you have to have already done a run of it. Which means that it will not always be the case that the games we do shows on will have speedrun.com leaderboards already. That is not necessarily the case, because if it's a game that hasn't seen any real attention, that to our knowledge there are no existing speedruns, then they won't, like, we can't just make a leaderboard for it. Not without one of us doing the speedrun first.
I wouldn't be adverse to doing that, but The problem with that is that y'all might get a heads up on what we're gonna announce ahead of time, so we can't have it made early sometimes. And there definitely are games in our list that are not. No one's done them. I know one game that I'm not going to pick ever. It's called Jelly Boy. No one's done that one.
You're not gonna do Jelly Boy?
Jelly Boy is too hard for humans. It's so bad.
What about Jelly Boy 2 though?
It's not the same game, and it's so much better. I love Jelly Boy 2. Am I gonna convince you to play Jelly Boy 1?
No.
Jelly Boy 1 is disgusting.
Man, they're really just not gonna drop any hearts, huh?
They dropped a downgrade for you. What a situation.
Am I dead? I'm dead.
Oh man, you got fooled. What a dangerous place to grind. Jelly Boy is crazy. It's outrageous. I think it only took me... I didn't cheat at all. I think it only took me like 8 hours to 10 hours to beat. It was some of the most painful hours of my life, though, and I just don't feel like you could optimize any of it very well. I died so much, though. Maybe you could do it in a couple hours if you were perfect at it somehow. If you were some kind of guru at Jelly Boy 1.
Jelly Boy Master?
Yeah, I feel like somebody could task it to be done in 90 minutes, but I'm not that person. I don't feel like I want to inflict that one. I did not see a record for it anywhere, though. So there's that. Yeah, so here you have a pit. I'm pretty sure it's a dead end. There's not really any pickups at all in this game, so there's nothing to the left here, I don't think. It's just that Yoku block up top. That's what I call those disappearing things. And then it goes to the right, and then you're done with that pit. And that's what they do over and over again in this.
Man, not giving me any hearts is quite a strategy. But you're not going to break my morale. Not that easy.
I think this is a better place here to get them than up there, where you die for getting them. We pay the price.
Alright, this looks like a trap.
The way forward here is interesting. That monster showed you the way forward. Have a good time with this hellish first difficult boss in the game.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's absolutely a beast. He is the first one that does not become a regular enemy. Hey, Doobie, thanks for the host. You know, I don't have alerts on for this. I was wondering what I should do for that, but I'll figure it out something. Yeah, so that boss swoops in, and you can duck. And you have to evade his shot too every time. But since you can hit him and stun him for that little bit of time, that helps you get a little control.
I need to stop. I need to stop getting tricked by that.
Yeah, that happened to me so many times.
I keep thinking this will be the time that there's not spikes there.
I wish they weren't in the game. I wish the spikes just weren't here. The game would be massively improved by that one choice. As usual, I just don't like spikes in video games. Where are they good? Meat Boy, I think they're okay there because that's the whole thing. But in any other game, I just don't like them. I feel like if you have a health bar, that's bad design to put them in. I don't like it. It's such a staple though, platformers.
I personally don't hate one-hit kill spikes, but this game is using them in every blind jump.
These ones don't actually have too bad of hitbox. Like you can, compared to like freaking Munchers in Mario World, you can touch these spikes a little bit and they still don't hit you. Last time. So the strategy here is hitting him and then running away and
Yeah, no
evading the
kidding.
shot.
His shots do so much damage. They're like at least a full heart apiece.
He doesn't mess around. You can't take hits from this guy. If you come in there with 8, this guy took me a while. This is where I got walled. This boss. I came in there with 8 health. This is when I found out 8 health was the max. I started grinding. He beat me with 8 health a couple times, and then I finally got him down to where he couldn't hit me anyway. You can definitely do it. You can definitely lock him up and not take a single bit of hit. And that's encouraging because there's really not much that's harder than him. The final boss is harder than him because it's just him again.
Oh,
it's just
the
him
final
again.
boss is just that guy again?
He's got an upgrade. But it's not much of an upgrade really, and I managed to beat that one without taking hits too because I was fighting him for like 20 minutes and I just couldn't kill him with my crappy sword. And that's how I found out that I was doing something wrong. And also that you can beat every boss in the game without taking hits. Because I managed to survive for like 20 freaking minutes, clobbering him, and he just wouldn't go down. So he has an immortal component, and I didn't think it was immortal, and I was clobbering on it for way too long. As far as I could tell, as soon as I switched to hitting him instead of that thing, he died. So I think that's what was going on.
Where did you come from?
Yeah, I think Mega Man is largely blamed for spikes being the way they are. Like, Mario Brothers has spikes and they don't kill you instantly. And it's way better. It just feels better. It makes the stage more fun to run through fast. Wait, this is a show? Tell me about Keith Courage. Let's do some
There was
research.
a Keith Courage TV show?
Science fiction, science fantasy action platform video game. Got that far. It was a Japanese anime called Spirit Hero Wataru. What's that? Let me look at that.
There we go.
Adventure Super Robot multimedia franchise. They replaced the Transformers, damn. Good luck with your boss fight. I feel like you can't get greedy here. 2 hits is your max and you gotta run. You gotta back up after that and duck. That's how you do this.
Okay. I thought maybe I could just duck under him, but he comes low enough.
You gotta back up a step sometimes. He doesn't always do the same height, and I think it's based on your movement.
This boss is rough. I think this will be like the you know, one of those things that's gonna separate really good runners from everyone else.
Yeah, you're gonna want your run to not have deaths, just across the board, unless you have a reason. I think the only one in this game is to get your hearts back. Like, you beat the boss with your robot here, and then you turn into Keith, and you have 1 heart out of 8, and no money, and you don't want to grind for the final level, so maybe you take a death. I think that's the only time you would in this game. So otherwise, the good run would be deathless, so you're gonna need to master these bosses. I don't feel like it's as hard as it seems, though. Once you get it down, it's done.
No, all of my deaths have felt, you know, aside from like falling on spikes, which you'll obviously learn just where the spikes are and you won't do that anymore, I feel like all the deaths have been more or less fair. Like, it's mistakes that I'm making that I could just not make.
They are contact damage Mega Man boss things, so you can control them with the way you move, and stunning them helps a lot. He's not set up yet. Oh, that's the way. Yeah, like you could do that all day, I think, if you wanted to. I feel like if you were getting really fast, you could hit him twice. 3 times you're gonna take damage, and then you're gonna have to heal. I just don't know if taking damage is ever worth it. You'd really have to kill him fast. Now the question is, what does the 5-level orb do to him?
Yeah, it's true. Wonder if it does a lot more damage.
He's up in the sky. The 3 would hit him from the ground, and you could probably use them all on him if he wouldn't be able to move because you'd stun him so much. You wouldn't take
Okay,
it.
honestly, it feels really rewarding to figure out boss patterns in this game. This game whips. I think that this game is probably a really terrible blind experience. This game, for a speedrun, probably rules.
The levels get not harder, but long. So dying is more painful because of that. And here comes ice. So it does get a little bit more annoying, but I didn't feel like it ever got outrageous. And my clear time was... There's 7 stages. My clear time was an hour, but I was cheating. I wasn't cheating that much, but I was like undoing deaths to spikes. I was fighting the bosses fair. So yeah, the interesting thing that I just don't think will come up in a speedrun is that if you wanted to right now, say you didn't buy that sword and you had the money and you didn't want to skip it, you could go back through the gate you just came through. It would take you back to Keith's level here, not the Gundam. The Gundam's level is gone forever. You would just be able to warp between those two now if you wanted to. And I don't know if that would ever come up. I think the only time it did is when the sword is discounted in level 6. I think that's it.
The game is definitely not giving money as much now. Like, I don't think it's just bad random chance. I think the game is legitimately pulling back on the amount of money I can just farm.
Yeah, I don't know. Those red cats do show up still, and they still give you a guaranteed drop. But, money, I just didn't have enough to buy the weapons anymore. And I was dying a ton, too.
Yeah, I'd love to look at the numbers and see whether or not it makes a difference, because, you know, a little bit of range upgrade is good, but you might be able to pull that off pretty easily, getting a little bit of money and upgrade your sword just so you get a little bit of range increase or something. But if the damage it does doesn't matter, then I could see the swords not even being important. You know, farm a little bit of money to get orbs, and that's about it.
Yep. 400 for the heals is not much to get. You can get that on the way through the stage.
Yeah, it's for sure not giving me money at this point. I mean, I'm getting it occasionally, just infrequently.
I'm curious what the speedrun did. I'm gonna take a look. Scorian says they're noticing a damage upgrade on the boss you did. And if it's as much damage as the first FAQ said, then it's actually double, triple, and then quadruple the basic sword. So just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, max level 6.
In which case, you probably would really only want like the 4th or 5th sword.
Yeah, I think that's the case. That's what I won with. So I probably wasn't missing much damage. It's not going to save you that many swings. That's the thing. How many swings will it actually change? It doesn't matter what the number is. The number is how many attacks it takes. And if the first sword does 1 damage and the second one does 2, then that's like 30 versus 15. But the next one's only going to cut 7 off, and then it's just going to get worse. Let's see if they grinded money for the big sword here. They did. Okay, so the speedrunner with the world record got 4,800 in World 5 or whatever, and grabbed the best sword there is, World 6 here. Robot Land. That's what it is. So they sat down and grabbed money. They have a bunch of orbs too. And it looks like they're using level 1 orbs. I wonder if there's a benefit to saving orbs, just having a bunch. Using the cheapest one to spam.
Yeah, being able to target them specifically. I mean, if like the level 3 costs several orbs to use, but you're only landing like 2 of them, then maybe not economical.
Yep. They cost the number that they are. He absolutely buys the level max sword and has not got 8 hearts. It's just charging through 7 right now on the end game.
That's pretty impressive. That means that there wasn't a lot of stopping to fight, because you're gonna get 8 if you stop to fight.
Man, the range on that is disgusting. It's like 4 Gundams wide. I love it. I never saw that one. Yeah, so this run, uh, there's a lot of pausing. It seems like they don't know 100% the way to go. This is why I thought it could be optimized. If this same runner kept at it a couple times and memorized everything about the map, as you do, I think they would have a couple of minutes shaved off just from that. Just playing the same exact way and knowing where to go a little bit more strong. They're pausing a lot, they're taking their time. They just don't seem like they have it completely down. They're really good at killing the bosses.
I gotta stop turning around in mid. Okay, this game's really good. This game has downloaded my brain and is doing exactly the things necessary to get me to die.
I really actually like that tech. I mean, I don't like that I can't control myself midair much, but I mean, it reminds me of Ground Stomp and the air ground pound in Mario Maker. Kind of like where I can just stop all momentum instantly. Sometimes you want that.
Oh yeah, that'd be really good for tight platforming, because you could just get over top the platform you want to land on, hit left, and you're absolutely landing on it.
Yeah, I use that to stop on the Yoku blocks sometimes in this game here. The gray blocks.
That's really smart, yeah.
So I got used to it. Instead of being annoyed by it. I just realized it was a thing and started taking advantage of it. I wish that it was not the only thing, but it is, so you'll have to deal with it. Okay.
The jewel sword is very expensive.
I'm watching one of the bosses that gave me a hard time being spammed on with orbs, and it's working pretty well. How much was that sword? 2,400?
I haven't seen the actual sword yet, probably because I didn't stop at any shops. I walked in and someone talked to me about how expensive the jewel sword will be when I find it. Oh my god, I keep slipping off the ice thinking I'm gonna stop. I'm tricked again. Do you think I should put this run up on the leaderboard?
I mean, I'll make one and see how I do this week, probably.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to participate in the first few, so we've talked about it, and the rules are that we can compete in it. So, you know, you can test your Smight against Smight, who will very much be wanting to protect his money. But, in general, like, for instance, Smight played through the game in order to assess whether or not it'd be good for this. I didn't, but in general, we will not take advantage of the fact that we will know the game in advance, so we won't really practice or study it or anything.
Yeah,
but
I don't know much about
if the game
this
scratches that itch, we might join in.
I'd like to see what kind of time I can get on this without deaths.
Yeah, same.
I feel like it could be under 30 minutes. No question.
I would for sure try to run this with, like, no farming at all.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee that's actually the faster option, considering the orbs might make a substantial difference if you're willing to farm for them a little bit, but I'm really interested to see what time can be earned if you just get a very clean run with no grinding.
It looks like the orbs don't do a heap of damage, but they do make things a little faster with the bosses. Namely, one of them that you haven't seen yet spawns a bunch of enemies that are really obnoxious, and you kind of have to take the time to kill them, but if you have orbs that can sweep the screen, then you don't really need to bother.
Oh yeah, like 4 would clean up a little bit.
And also you can hit him off screen before he gets his AI turned on. You can just hit him with some orbs.
Oh, you think you can kill him before he actually starts the fight?
Yeah, I think so. Or at least you can weaken him quite a bit. Also,
the fact that it really slowed down how much gold it gives me makes me really question making the later swords more expensive.
It's weird. I had trouble getting money.
It.
I just gave up after. I tried for a very short amount of time to grind 9,600, and then I realized I'd be here for all night. I just started going forward at that point.
I'm for sure digging this game. This game, it rules in its own Keith Courage way.
Yeah, the death penalty is tragic. Just don't take deaths. You just can't do it. You don't want them anyway, so one of the worst things about the game is inapplicable to this. It's just you don't lose money on dying because you're not going to die and you're good run. You're going to make it. Killing that guy is tempting. I don't know if you can lose him by running. He's really annoying.
Oh yeah, that tech is actually... Once you figure out that you can use it for good, like that's not just a bad thing happening to you, you can actually use that to do some really good platforming.
Yeah, jumping without momentum concerns is what it is. Like just cold stopping. This is one of the most dangerous jumps there is. I hate this part. Nice work. The max money is 4 digits, which is not enough to buy the final sword unless you get it early, which you would, I guess, if you grind it early. If buying swords is important, I'd hate to see that. I'd hate to see grinding be a long thing. It's not too bad if it's just once in a while. But if you're grinding 9,000, that might be a bit much.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That even if there is a good place to grind, the max amount of money you can hold would certainly not be enough to buy everything you might want to buy.
I think it is, if you get it right away. Like if you don't skip the... Just because he discounts. For some reason, he discounts the final upgrade quite a bit. I think with that discount, it's enough because it's like 4,800, 2,400, 1,200, 600, and then the orbs. You're not going to spend 3,000 on orbs, I don't think. So, you probably are good with a couple thousand. I think you were going the right way before.
I was. I just was wondering if this way had anything that I might be interested in.
I never saw anything in terms of like pickups anywhere. Just enemy drops, unfortunately.
I really wouldn't mind someone giving me a heart though. That's for sure.
Well, you know what you can do is go back to the portal, turn into Keith, and pay them theirs for a full heal.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, especially now because you gotta go grind 150 gold. Well, who's interested in competing? Do we have more than 0 people? Are we gonna get a crowd for this? I'm looking to see some runs, especially on Discord next week. I want to see people that we can host on the show here and do a race.
Yeah, the goal for this show is for the interim weeks in between revealing the game and the world record being, calculated, is to be able to do races. So occasionally me and Smight might join in on them, but we'd love to be able to commentate them if there's actually people who are playing them.
Yeah. We'll be having 3 weeks out of the month where we're like week 1 we'll be announcing the game, talking about it a bit, playing it here. Maybe not all of it, depends on how long it is. This one's pretty short. It is half an hour if you can do it perfectly, I think. So there's a task that beats this in 20 minutes. That's the best thing I've seen. And I don't know how optimized that is either, because just because it's tool assisted doesn't mean that they found the best route. A game like this seems like it's complicated. I could see them not grinding money in a task and
there we go.
Paying the price. Well, the full heal. So I think what's going on is some of the hearts, they just don't have different icons, but they are actually different. They're not just hearts. It's not like you pick up 4 hearts and then you get a full heal. It's just this heart was a full E-tank and it looks like a regular heart. But you don't know.
Right.
And then there's the one that gives you an HP up. I think it is the one that gets you HP up, but the same thing. HP up hearts are also full heal hearts. And they keep dropping even after you hit full. They just give you full health.
Well, oh, good. There's ice here, too? That rules.
Oh, is it actually icy to him? That's not really much of a thing. There's not a whole lot of ice in this game.
Oh, God, that was...
That's those generous hitboxes helping you out. It feels good. I think this is the rough boss. No, this is two of these idiots at once. Can you beat Magician with Buddy? Buddy's dead. Nice work. Alright. Hey, if y'all know any speedrunners that you think would be interested, make sure you link them to the post I'll make here in a bit.
How many more worlds are there?
2. This one and 7.
Well, I don't have to finish this. I mean, if you want to know how this game ends, you can watch the speedrun or...
Yeah, you don't have to
speedrun it yourself.
It's up to you. I think this is the world where the sword is... there's like a running joke here where the nurse keeps trying to cast a spell, and I don't know what... I don't understand what the joke is. She never does it. I went into every door and she just keeps failing the magic, and the wizard's like, you should teach her how to magic.
Need the alpha sword.
That one is 4,800 here, and this is the world where if you don't get it here, it's double next time.
Looks like they might have turned back on the money drops unless I just got really lucky.
So this is your max upgrade, and it does seem like you can just skip upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, just sort of estimating, it really seems like if there is just a linear upgrade in damage it does, then it's probably not worth it to grind for the last few. But like getting the 4th one was a huge upgrade at that point.
Yeah, it also seems like you can skip 2 and 3 and just go to 4. It works just fine.
400 gold?
I think he gives you 80 though, this time.
No.
Damn, what a scam!
What? This old man is selling me things, but I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth. That's capitalism for you.
He doesn't want you to save the world. You absolutely can beat the final
world
boss.
on a budget.
I absolutely beat the final boss without the alpha sword, so the old man's a liar. Anyway, on top of everything else. Damn magic zone.
It's reduced his powers.
There's a couple of gotcha platforms here. Gotcha.
Like that one?
Gotcha.
I love that you said that right as I jumped to one, and I thought to myself, oh, I hope it's not this one. It was extremely that one. She says if I want to save the world, I have to have the alpha sword, though, so... I feel like I'm getting a lot of mixed messages here, Smight.
My message is true and hers is wrong.
Okay.
Alpha sword is not mandatory, that's for damn sure.
I'm sorry. Is that what he says when I don't have enough money?
No, that's what he says to the joke that's happening that I don't understand.
Really
you did the thing!
I thought I was standing over the platform still.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if people hold back runs if they're in first place. If they're not, though, why would they? I don't know. I feel like that's bad sportsmanship.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you put money on the line, people are going to get a little more competitive, but...
I'd be surprised if a lot of people were doing that. I mean, for one
I don't
thing,
think a lot of people will, but...
They'll have to stream it anyway to upload it, so whatever, we've already got... People will probably follow Keith Courage and know when people are broadcasting it. I'd be surprised if a lot of people were doing that. I think I'd be annoyed if I caught somebody doing that. I might be unhappy with them.
We haven't talked about there being a rule against doing just YouTube uploads.
I don't think there is. I don't see why.
So there, I mean, so yeah, so there's no way to really know whether or not someone did the run on day 1 and got a killer world record and just held it back, or whether or not they got it on the last day, but hopefully people will take this up as an opportunity for a fun community thing, even when there's money on the line.
Didn't get got by the platform this time. There's more of them.
I didn't get tricked by it.
The sideways ones are always mean. Watch out for the sideways UFOs. That's my advice for this game. Sideways UFOs, bad news. The magic joke continues. You think she's playing the card game?
I don't know.
Finally, the HP booster.
Sure, why not? The hut with Nova Force is close. Wow, that's a bunch of words I don't know.
Nova Force is the name of your Gundam, I guess.
Oh.
Which means
cool.
that you're near the end of this zone, and you don't have your sword upgrade.
Well, that's okay.
Same. Exactly the same.
No, I did it again! I really thought that I was over top the platform still.
That's a gotcha platform. That one got me anyway. Then you gotta walk through the whole world. It's a painful death. I can definitely see just immediately hitting the reset button when you take that kind of death, because it's just so far.
I'm gonna get enough money to pay for that heal when I get back to that house, and that's it.
You absolutely lose minutes to that.
Yeah, I suspect that the best possible runs are probably not going to do much in the way of gold grinding. You may find yourself grinding for health before you get to a boss, but even then, I think it's just going to end up coming down to having enough hearts to counteract the amount you're losing by powering through stuff, and otherwise just learning boss patterns. That second boss, who was the friend of the boss fight we just did, that was the only one that I'm uncertain whether or not there's a really good pattern for it, because he turns around really fast when you just jump over his head, so...
Which one was that? Frankenstein?
Yeah, the Frankenstein that shoots out the hook shot.
I think if you jump right after you hit the ground and hit him, there's a timing with it that you can keep him from hitting you with it. Hey, you've already memorized the nurse. Nurse
I'm a
Nancy.
speedrunner. I'm nothing if I can't just memorize video game.
I think the amount of money you'd want, if you were grinding, would be enough to buy this sword here, and assuming you don't die, you're gonna need 4,000 some, so everything else you're gonna buy on the way too, you gotta take that into account, but I think it's 4,800, I'm not sure, it's around here somewhere.
I mean, obviously I haven't done the math yet, but if what we are suspecting is the case is true, I'm not sure I see myself buying this last sword. It would the numbers that we've heard would have to be very wrong for me to be interested in. The amount of grinding you'd have to do would just be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a lot. You just don't get money. Like, it's one of those things where these enemies need to drop more, not less, as the game goes on, and they don't. They stop dropping.
Yeah, if the sword the sword I have is doing 3 or 4, and the sword that I could get would do 7. I'm not sure I see the value in it.
Somebody can make a save state on the last level and track that hitting the numbers. It wouldn't be hard if it actually is an upgrade like that. Going down. Big enemies are good because they drop HP. This enemy's not, though. He smells. He doesn't go away. He went away. I'm wrong. He flew into the sun.
I already feel like this game's getting a lot easier once you sort of learn some tricks, learn to move. I think this is not actually that hard. Optimizing it is going to be non-trivial for sure, but I actually think that this game is not, strictly speaking, difficult.
Those disappearing blocks, as long as you're fast, they don't go away. You can always safely rush to them, which I like a lot. I like to be able to just go.
Oh.
So your problem there was that you treated those spikes as if they were other video game spikes, and in this one they don't really have that big of a hitbox, so you can jump.
Yeah, I could have walked all the way to the edge of that platform.
Yeah, you have to do that a couple times. They take advantage of that. Big heal. That's 400 value. Nurse Nancy Frankenstein.
I mean, these guys are taking more hits now. Finally, they're taking 5 hits instead of 4 previously.
I thought they always took 5. I've been playing the last level so long. Oh, that sucks.
You never know whether or not falling straight down is the trick, or falling to the side is the trick.
That seemed like a shortcut.
I think it's going to make a huge difference just seeing a map of these levels. Like, being able to take everything fully in context is just going to make such a huge difference, I think, in this game.
Keith Courage will become my life for the next 2 weeks. That's what's going on here. I'm gonna put it everywhere. I'm gonna make fan art. I'm gonna get a Keith Courage lunchbox. Yeah, you're supposed to go down at some point here. It doesn't really clarify when, unfortunately. You went for the high jump.
Yeah, it seems fairly consistent that the goal in each of these levels is to go down to get to the boss.
It never changes. That's absolutely true. If you're going down, you're probably going the right way. Only a couple times you have to go down, up, and then down. But I think
Right.
you're definitely going into the basement.
There we go.
Man. Are these guys worth killing? How much of this fighting needs to even happen?
Yeah, I could probably skip most of it.
That's what I was asking myself when I was running through here. Because some of the really annoying enemies you can just walk past for sure. Not all of them.
Hey, apparently I've gone the wrong way.
Yep. Oh yes, it's Keith Courage. Oh yeah, this here is a telltale sign that you need to just go back the way you came. This double block thing is like a whoops, you fell down a pit. Here's a way out solution that they put in. I started exploring, and every single time I went the wrong way, that was how you got out.
Well, fortunately, none of this should be relevant in an actual speedrun.
I can appreciate that the heart hitbox to pick it up is like 6 Gundams wide. It's just half the screen. Just walk near it, suck it in.
Oh, I was certain I had gone the right way.
I thought you.
But I hadn't. I was wrong as well.
This sucks. This here. Man, those things don't necessarily sync up. Oh. Oh no.
I cannot believe I just fell for that. I'm having, oh boy, the
Man.
worst time.
That was that Jurassic Park raptor scene right there, man. That was that double hunt. That kicked ass.
This game is legit fun to play, though. Like, if I were playing this casually, I would have stuck with this for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. This game whips ass.
I really like the goofy enemies. I don't know if this is what they look like in the show. If there's just a man who just... He's like a Power Ranger villain looking dude. Just
This has got to be based on Sentai. This has got to be based on Power Rangers. Like, a guy whose literal entire body is a gun. If that's not Power Rangers, I don't know what is.
Oh, you got hoisted by the block because you hesitated.
I know. I can't. I waited and then thought, well, I shouldn't go now. But then it was too late. I was already going.
Full heal, man. Getting all the luck with these.
Well, it's not gonna make a difference because I keep dying in this level to spikes.
Yeah. Well, this layout's fresh, so I'm hearing the bar is too big. I can shrink that. That's all easy to do. The game reveal screen, I don't know if I thanked him yet, but Orenthio's helped me program that, as he did most of the loot box stuff. So thanks a lot for that. Appreciate your time. Fixing layout stuff is no big deal. We can make the game a little bigger too, probably with the extra room. No reason not to. Don't know where you're supposed to go here, but it's usually pits. What looks like death in this game is a two tile wide pit, and it seems like it's often the way forward. Hey! This is the first unique boss, I think. Well, I guess the second, because the other guy was a flying. This is the dude who spawns the minions that just... They kind of get out of hand if you can't kill them quickly enough.
Oh.
I don't know how many hits he takes. He's got a lot of heads.
You know what will probably make a huge difference is having that alpha sword.
It might. Yeah, Orbitax, the speedrun walks in with 90, uses 40 of them on him, and then goes swinging the sword at him. I don't know why he only used 40. Maybe it is. Like, I'm not sure if there's a reason or not. It's just, it was a Retro Games Live run. He was just doing a show. And, I don't know if there was a reason behind any of the strategy. Like that, I'm not sure. The orb use and stuff.
No! He got me.
The face.
There we go.
Now that speedrun was not upgrading the orbs. That might have just been a coincidence though. You start with level 1. Maybe that's why you have level 1. See, I don't like those kind of spikes. I hate those. Wish they weren't here. We need that map knowledge.
Yeah, there's a lot of those deaths that seem unfair. If you were playing casually, that would be a problem. Like me.
Well, I'll leave speedrunner rules to you. I don't know anything about that. If you have any commentary on what's legal, any kind of emulator that's not okay, things like that. Any percent rules.
It depends. I mean, it depends on the game. There's some emulators that are just really crap. For something like this, we'd probably just want to use BizHawk. I hate where I am right now.
Nice surviving. Is there anything that people might do on accident that they shouldn't?
I mean, you know, the things that should seem obvious, like no save states. Needs to be done in one sitting. Complete videos should be required for this. Even if the leaderboard for whatever the game doesn't require video evidence, we do.
Yeah, I need that. You're not winning my money with screenshots.
I think this level's gonna end up walling me. I'm probably gonna give it one more shot on the boss.
I think this boss is gonna be one of the ones where you actually have to dodge. You can't just burn him down.
Right.
And that means that he's gonna have all those minions on you. And he might be one of the ones. He might be the only one, really, that I don't know if you can beat him without taking a single hit, without orbs. Orbs would do it. But without them, I think you're in for a rough time. I couldn't get a pattern on him. I just eventually burned him down with some damage taken.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and call it on this one. I'm definitely going to learn this myself, but boy, I think this boss is gonna wall me for now. Which is fair, it's the next to last boss, so.
Yep. I mean, the last boss, I'll tell you what he is. He is... Man, I guess we could pull up the, let's pull up the video. Hold on a second. Let's do that. I'll put on F-Zero while I load this. Anyway, the final boss, you've already fought him once.
Oh, it's the same as that flying robot boss?
Yeah, he's just upgraded, so let's get that up here. I keep putting in Keith Coward instead of Courage. I keep doing that, I don't know why. I'll get it. Alright.
Yeah, Escorian asks if I'm going to compete in it. So, like I said earlier, me and Smight, we talked about it. It is valid for us to participate in the competition. Obviously, we're not going to take advantage of knowing the game in advance to prepare in any way. But if the game strikes our fancy, we might participate in it as well. Like, this game's pretty interesting. So, if I can find the time, I may take a shot at it.
Yeah, this is the run by Cipher in here. Let's take a look at this boss. Alright, that's the boss you just did. Let's watch that, actually. Let's see how that's done. Comes in with level 2, 76, and just kind of hangs out. And I think the only advantage of level 2 here, for twice the cost, is that you can flood the screen with more shots. And then
just... big sword, Jesus.
Yeah, that's the alpha sword. Definitely tanked that boss. Definitely didn't mess around. Let's see what the final boss looks like here. Here's conveyor belts. No, they're fun. They're fun in a good way, where they scream you forward.
Yeah, Pansy, I'd love to see some of that as well. Some good, not just platformer speedruns, but some other interesting types of games. I know offhand of a puzzle game that I think might be well suited to this, so.
Okay, my mistake here, and it was really annoying, is fighting that dragon instead of this golden boy here, because it looks like you're hitting the dragon, so I was beating on it for way too long, and it just doesn't actually take damage. And I killed this guy in like 10 hits, I feel like, when I started hitting him. He is not too bad at all. Jumping over that dragon sucks when you're trying to do it for 20 minutes. And they both shoot at you. So what you do is you run really far so the dragon has longer to go. He has a longer flight path. Gives you more time to hit him. gives you more time away from the dragon.
Interesting.
You can definitely sneak some more hits in here than is being snuck in. You can definitely hit him twice on the way in and then 3 or 4 times on the way out. There's your final boss. That's it. That's Keith Courage.
Very cool. Yeah, I do want to comment that we sort of talked about this in advance. The goal's not for just bad games. So, whereas there's other events that sort of have their own niche, this is not specifically targeting bad games. Particularly good games may have already seen a lot of speedrun attention, so we'll probably see a lot of other types of games, but the focus here is not specifically bad games.
Yeah, I had some people send in games that the description for them was things like, let me read one. I quoted one. It was just like not appealing at all. It wasn't even close to anything I would ever consider using, and it didn't even sound like I'd play it for fun. It just sounded bad. Let me see here.
When would you press the timer stop button? Definitely defer to existing runs for that. The standard tends to be when you gain control and when you lose control as the start and stop point for the timer, but every community does it their own way, so I would definitely defer to existing runs to base your timer around. If the speedrun.com page gives you rules, follow those rules. If there's no rules specified, look at other runs and see how they're timing them and do the same thing.
There's just a lot of mean descriptions in here, like very basic platformer with cheap deaths aplenty. Doesn't control great, looks terrible, bad music. You game over, you start over, no world record. I don't think I want to play that or host it. This just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we have our work cut out for us. We've already found quite a few. Smite's already found quite a few good games, and we're taking suggestions. But what we're looking for is not bad games. We're not here to dunk on any games. It's not a comedy show in that way. We're just looking for games that haven't seen a lot of attention, which tends to be more common with sort of bad games or uncommon systems. But
yeah, NES is Wasteland, but
yeah,
even the SNES and Genesis have a bunch that I found. There's a lot of room on the other consoles. NES, I had a really hard time finding anything. I didn't see much, but there's a bunch that exist that aren't just atrocious. I think there's a lot of fun ones. They're taking Discord. Discord down there is where it is. I'm sure I can link that though. The Discord
join
channel.
the Discord. There's a room for Speed Bump, and there's a page where you can submit your runs.
Yeah, that link is here.
What happens if nobody beats a speedrun? That's a good question. No one will end up claiming the money, but I think if that happens, if no one ends up beating the speedrun, I think that's a failure on our part, because we should be picking games that are going to be interesting so that there's people who want to participate in it, and we feel like there's ample room for improvement. So the goal is for that to never happen, but if that happens in a given month, that just no one beats the existing world record or something like that, then no one is awarded money. The existing world record holder can participate as well. They have a head start, but they have to beat their own time. Basically, the time to beat is the world record as of us announcing the game.
Try that link. Yeah, there it is. I mean, submitting games to us is the lowest of low priorities because even though our list isn't huge, we already have enough for like 4 months. It's just we only use one game a month, so we don't really cruise through them.
Yeah, between me and Smight, I think we have a pretty good eye for games that people will be interested in. I don't promise that they're always going to be good games, but they're not going to be the sort of games you won't want to play, hopefully. But that being said, we are only doing one game a month, so it doesn't really take a lot for us to have content, and we're going to really try to scrutinize and pick games that people are going to have fun with.
I have a hard time describing the show because I keep using the words weekly and monthly. We do a weekly show for a monthly game.
Right.
So we will be on next week covering the same game. And then when that clock there runs down, which you can see at speedbump.run, I bet that site and put that clock up there. So that is your time limit right there. And it's a week short this time. And it won't be a week short next time. But this time you only have a week and 6 days. You have till Saturday at midnight on Eastern to get it done. and I'm going to
Yeah,
look
in
at
general, first Sunday of the month will be the announcing of the game. Fourth Sunday of the month will be when the game comes due. So there'll be 2 Sundays in between for things like races and update on how the community's doing. So definitely get your runs in so that we can talk about them. We'd like to be able to commentate an existing run that someone has done, you know, a week or 2 in. It may not be great. It may not even beat the existing world record, but at least being able to see some progress will give us something to talk about. And then if a month has 5 Sundays, then the last Sunday we'll figure something out.
Yeah. We won't use the 5th Sunday for that game because it'll be done.
Right.
I'm not sure what we'll do, but we'll do some kind of short podcast probably. We'll figure something out. Thanks for joining me, authorblues. We'll see you next week here. Start time was a little late, and it might be running into 10 after 9 sometimes. Arcade Pit just randomly takes a long time sometimes. So our start time is actually 9 to 9:15 for this show. It's gonna be around there. You should watch Arcade Pit anyway. I don't know. I'll see you later, folks.
Later.
Let's find somebody to host here. Man, that's David Wise music for this Captain Skyhawk game. It's blowing me away. Who's online in retro?
In retro?
Let's see here. Yeah, and if you guys know any speedrunners who you think would be interested in participating, definitely send them a link to this. Love to see some competition. I want to see as many runs as I can get. That's what I'm looking for. I want to see a bunch. I want to look at that leaderboard and see more than one up there. That's definitely the goal. I'll send you over to Highwing. Have a good night, everybody.